Nithyanandam Nithyanandam is open to interpretation and based on personal experience, from artistic expression to problem solving in the context of economic, social, and sustainable development. Though it may be of economic, social, and sustainable development. Though it may be expressed in various forms, the power of creativity, whether in the fields of health and wellness, conflict resolution, or whether in the fields of health and wellness, conflict resolution, or global peace, is undeniable.
And today, April 21st, is World Creativity.
Undeniable.
And today, April 21st, is World Creativity and Innovation Day as declared by the United Nations. And the purpose of this day is to raise the awareness of the role of creativity and innovation in all aspects of human development. Specifically, World Creativity and Innovation Day celebrates culture as an essential component of sustainable development and represents a source of identity, innovation, and creativity for the individual and community. At the same time, creativity and culture have a significant non-monetary value that contributes to inclusive social development, to dialogue and understanding between peoples.
So preserving ancient cultures and arts for global peace and enlightenment is at the core of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam mission. Specifically, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University to preserve, revive.
World Creativity and Innovation Day celebrates culture as an essential component of sustainable development and represents a source of identity, innovation, and creativity for the individual and community. At the same time, creativity and culture have a significant non-monetary value that contributes to inclusive social development, to dialogue and understanding between peoples.
So preserving ancient cultures and arts for global peace and enlightenment is at the core of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam mission. Specifically, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts, architecture, and artifacts for people to live and experience Nithyananda Paramashivam mission. Specifically, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts, architecture, and artifacts for people to live and experience the rich consciousness-based Vedic heritage and culture. Established the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts, architecture, and artifacts for people to live and experience the rich consciousness-based Vedic heritage and culture. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, to preserve, revive, and spread the Vedic temple arts, architecture, and artifacts for people to live and experience the rich consciousness-based Vedic heritage and culture. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this program is brought to you by Kailasa UN Mission in collaboration with the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Enlightened Culture and Health. With the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this program is brought to you by Kailasa UN Mission in collaboration with the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Enlightened Culture and Health. So, who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism? Let us now watch a short video. Who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism? Let us now watch a short video.
Founder of Kailasa, predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, and his 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness was birthed by his predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, who predicted and recognized his divine holiness. Founder of Kailasa, Paramashiva, and his 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness was birthed by his predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, who predicted and recognized his divine holiness. Founder of Kailasa, Paramashiva, and his 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness was birthed by his predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, who predicted and recognized his divine holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, as an incarnation of Paramashiva, as per the science of incarnation described in Hinduism. From his first Chaturmasya at the age of 3, and his 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness was birthed by his predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, who predicted and recognized His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, as an incarnation of Paramashiva, as per the science of incarnation described in Hinduism. From his first Chaturmasya at the age of 3 in the year 1980 until the age of 16 in the year 1994, the Supreme Pontiff was trained for the revival of Kailasa. He began reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation as an incarnation of Paramashiva, as per the science of incarnation described in Hinduism. From his first Chaturmasya at the age of 3 in the year 1980 until the age of 16 in the year 1994, the Supreme Pontiff was trained for the revival of Kailasa. He began reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation on the 25th May 1994. From his first Chaturmasya at the age of 3 in the year 1980 until the age of 16 in the year 1994, the Supreme Pontiff was trained for the revival of Kailasa. He began reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation on the 25th May 1994. For the revival of Kailasa. He began reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation on the 25th May 1994. Reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation on the 25th May 1994. Kailasa that we see today is 26 years of sincere hard work of the reviver and Hindu diaspora all over the world. Kailasa that we see today is 26 years of sincere hard work of the reviver and Hindu diaspora all over the world. Kailasa that we see today is 26 years of sincere hard work of the reviver and Hindu diaspora all over the world. Kailasa that we see today is 26 years of sincere hard work of the reviver and Hindu diaspora all over the world. Building a nation is not a project. Building a nation is not a project accomplished overnight or by virtue of hope. Kailasa is the manifestation of 26 years of sincere hard work, sacrifices. Building a nation is not a project accomplished overnight or by virtue of hope. Kailasa is the manifestation of 26 years of sincere hard work, sacrifices, integrity of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and the Hindu diaspora worldwide for the past 26 years for the enlightenment of humanity. Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and the Hindu diaspora worldwide for the past 26 years for the enlightenment of humanity.
And your hosts for today's program on this World Creativity and Innovation
Diaspora worldwide for the past 26 years for the enlightenment of humanity.
And your hosts for today's program on this World Creativity and Innovation Day are Her Excellency Ma Vijayapriya Nithyananda, Permanent Ambassador of Kailasa. And your hosts for today's program on this World Creativity and Innovation Day are Her Excellency Ma Vijayapriya Nithyananda, Permanent Ambassador of Kailasa to the UN, as well as myself, Manitya Swatantra Priyananda, Delegate of Kailasa. And we warmly welcome each and every one of you as we are all connecting today to reflect on the impact that creativity and innovation has in building a sustainable global community, and also about the steps that need to be taken to ensure Priyananda, Delegate of Kailasa. And we warmly welcome each and every one of you as we are all connecting today to reflect on the impact that creativity and innovation has in building a sustainable global community, and also about the steps that need to be taken to ensure artisans are supported in capturing the rich diversity and nuances of their culture in order to promote dialogue and understanding between peoples. And so why do these questions matter? UNESCO reports, and I quote, boarded up cinemas, silent concert halls, museums without queues of artists, and decimated the entire creative value chain from creation, production, and distribution to access. UNESCO's recent publication revealed that as a result of COVID-19, the global culture and creative industries contracted by 750 billion USD in 2020, corresponding to upwards of 10 million job losses.
Yes, and the UNESCO report goes on to say, and I quote, while these figures should raise alarm bells for the creative economy, what hides in plain sight is the threat against cultural diversity, community-based arts collectives, intangible cultural heritage, indigenous knowledge, and creative expressions of dissent rarely have the endowments to persevere a crisis. Physical distancing also affects the integrity of these practices, given the importance of tactile connections to transfer messages, intentions, and values. These small yet powerful communities are the cradle of human ingenuity, past, present, and future. Their losses irreversible. Unquote.
And so now we would like to turn the question to you, our live international audience. As an individual, how can you contribute to the preservation and spread of various arts and cultures? As a parent, how can you encourage your children to express their artistic, creative, and innovative nature? As a teacher, does the curriculum provide sufficient opportunity for children to explore different types of artistic expression? As a government leader, are there grants and support in place to encourage Indigenous artisans to learn and practice their culture's unique artistic expression? We encourage you to share your comments and thoughts live on social media throughout the panel discussion.
Next slide, please. Yes, so now let us look at the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. How is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism actively working towards the preservation and revival of the Vedic temple arts, architecture, artifacts, as well as Hindu classical dance, music, street theatre, and more? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has launched 108 humanitarian initiatives through Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations to spread the great spiritual truths of Hinduism from its age-old scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas, all over the world. For instance, Hinduism is a totality of at least 10,000 indigenous traditions and nations. Through these Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiatives, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is working to revive all these traditions and uniting all nations. And pertaining to the importance preserving Hindu art and culture, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has launched the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Enlightened Culture and Arts, the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nation for Revival of Temples, the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Ancient Heritage, the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Revival of Ancient Civilizations. These Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiatives directly align to the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, specifically the Sustainable Development Goal number 8, which is to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all, as well as Sustainable Development Goal number 9, which is to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. In the sacred Hindu scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas, the act of creating art itself is referred as an act of divine, where the creator transcends the limitations of human and enters into the realm of divine. And we have a beautiful Shastra Pramana from the Rig Veda, Aitatreya Brahmana, verse 6.5.27, and it says, Shilpani, works of art of men, is the imitation of divine forms. By employing their rhythms, the artisans metrically reconstitute and interpret the limitless knowledge of the sacred hymns from the limits of human ability.
And on March 22nd, 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained as follows. Your creativity can enrich God. Listen, your creativity is always your contribution to the cosmos. It is something which was not there in the cosmos. You created it, you expanded it, you expressed it. For you to express your creativity, whatever is needed maybe was there in the cosmos, but putting all of them together, allowing the alchemy of creativity happening and sharing it, enriching it, is your contribution. Best life on the planet Earth is alchemy of creativity. So let us now listen to a short video in which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains how peace unlocks the ability to invent, create, and manifest.
Please understand, when you bring peace at the individual level, at the level of self, your inner space will be able to invent, create, manifest many of the great things of nature. Apart from this, Vedic civilization was the #1 civilization in the world, leading in arts, painting, music, pottery, and all other forms of arts depicting a rich culture. I tell you, even now, if you travel in India, every 100 kilometers you will have a different kind of food, different kind of dressing, different kind of dancing. When I say dance, not just movements of the body, even the instruments, music instruments they use, and the material they use for the music instruments, everything will be unique. The dress people wear in Mysore, and the dress people wear in Hosur, will be completely different. Not only the way they stitch or the way they wear, the fabric or the source material for the fabric will be different. Every 100 kilometers, we have different way of wearing the dress, different way of eating, different way of cooking, different way of building the house. The material you need to build a house in Tamil Nadu, the material you need to build a house in Karnataka will be completely different. It will not even be available in other states. Each 100 kilometers, we were so rich and unique. Vedic civilization gave birth to so much of creativity. All the temples of Vedic civilization is example of our art, culture and unique architecture. Most important thing, you should know that all these miraculous achievements were possible only because in the Vedic civilization, they were able to bring peace in every individual at the level of self. The conscious wealth Vedic civilization has created.
And in order to revive, protect, and preserve the ancient Hindu enlightened culture and the 64 sacred Hindu arts to bring enlightenment to the world and therefore global peace, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University in 2003. The Nithyananda Sacred Arts University is the world's largest producer of temple arts and deities. Its mission is to procure, collect, traditionally make, preserve the temple arts and temple traditions and cultural heritage, to spread the temple arts and architecture and its highest form as a celebrative lifestyle of peace and bliss as per the authentic scriptures, and to operate as a university of learning the science and the applied technology of sacred arts and temple architecture.
By establishing the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also simultaneously upholding the purity of the science of temple building and protecting the life and livelihood of an ancient rare artisan community, the Stapatis, which is on the brink of extinction. Stapatis are professionals in temple architecture and deity creation. They belong to the Vishwakarma community, the ancient Vedic community of architects and artisans. Each step of the Stapati's task is outlined in the Stapatya Vedas and Agamas, the scriptures of Vedic architecture science, which with great precision and mathematical and scientific frameworks that are ahead of any modern architectural science.
And as for the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, numerous Hindu scriptures and books are referred and all deities are made as per the dimensions specified as per the scriptures. Through the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University, over 4,000 unique Hindu deities have been created by artisans and are now consecrated and worshipped in over 600 locations around the globe. On September 11, 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared, as of now, 600 artists are working in our ashram, building temples or making deities for all our branches and ashrams in 347 cities in 47 countries. We are, as of now, building or running countries. All the artistic things you find here, everything is made in our Bangalore ashram.
The Nithyananda Sacred Arts University has two divisions. One, the stone division, which includes temple architecture and deity creation. And second, the metal division, which includes casting of metal deities and creation of ornate kavacham, or armors, for stone and the metal deities. Let us now look into more depth at the stone and metal divisions of the Nithyananda Sacred Arts to better understand how they each began, their impact on preserving the rich cultural heritage of Hinduism, and their contribution to a sustainable future. So, how did it begin? The stone division of the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University. At just the age of 10 years old, during the Navaratri celebrations in the Arunachaleshwara temple of his birthplace, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was in the Devi Unnamalai Amman shrine after having taken bath in the temple holy water tank on his Guru Yogananda Puri's instruction. After receiving the initiation into the Bija mantra for Parashakti, suddenly in the shrine itself, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had the darshan, or the living, breathing form of Devi Parashakti. As soon as he saw the form of Parashakti, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism went home and began carving exactly what he saw. When he finished, he went to Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the embodiment of Paramashiva and Guru of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and learned how to perfect the science of birthing deities. Let us now listen to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism speak about the significance of this event in his own words.
Please understand, the day I started carving the Devi deity, after my vision of having Devi darshan, birthing of the Devi deity, birthing of Devi in the form of deity, when I started, that day Sacred Arts University has started. Understand? Fortunately, that was the time I used to be seeing Arunagiri Yogeshwara physically. So he himself has helped me. Literally, he birthed. And he taught me. He taught me through that birthing of the deity. He taught me how to birth the deity. And so from that day, the Nithyananda Sacred Arts Hindu University, the Sacred Arts University has started.
And so here in the pictures, we can see the Devi deity carved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism at the age of 10. The deity was 9.5 inches and made of soapstone. It is based on the experience of carving this deity and the instructions from his guru, Arunagiri Yogeshwara, on how to birth the deity that the vision for the Nithyananda Sacred Arts Hindu University was born. And this deity of Devi Parashakti is the first of over 4,000 Hindu deities birthed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And on the next pictures, we can see a few of the beautiful granite deities installed in Kailasa, Los Angeles. And on the next slide, in Kailasa in Houston. And the over 4,000 Hindu deities birthed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism are now established as the centers of enlightenment ecosystems and temples around the world. They are embodiments of the ultimate superconsciousness, enabling the expansion of humanity to the peak of their potential in order to support a sustainable future. And now let us discover how the metal division of the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University began. So, Priya.
Yes, thank you, Master Tantra Priya. So in approximately 1987, at the young age of 9 years old, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had the darshan of the Sri Chakra, which is the sacred cosmic geometry, and which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inscribed on a copper sheet with the compass needle of his pre-monastic brother's geometric box. The Sri Chakra is the geometrical representation of the universe, the revered diagram and symbol of the Shakta tradition or the school of worship of the divine feminine consciousness. This divine diagram, the Sri Chakra, also called Sri Yantra, is described in several different sacred texts, including the Shvetasvara Upanishad, the Bhavopanishad, both of which have detailed descriptions of the Sri Chakra, as well as the Devi Mahatmyam, where Devi Mahatripura Sundari is described to wear the Sri Chakra as an ornament on her ears.
And in the words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, of course, I was not aware that it was Sri Chakra. I was a 9-year-old boy. Suddenly, I saw a beautiful geometrical form in the temple. Slowly, that very geometry and that form both disappeared into my inner space. I immediately went to the home and started carving myself that whole thing, whatever I saw, in a copper plate. And shocked at his impeccable reproduction of the complex geometry from the darshan alone, his Vedanta, Tantra, and Sri Vidya Guru, Mata Vibhutananda Puri, immediately initiated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism into Sri Vidya worship. Sri Vidya is the worship of the universal cosmic mother through the Sri Chakra. And we can see in the picture, the first personally etched sheet metal work created by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism at the age of 9.
Yes, and today, millions have experienced the superconscious breakthrough through the revival of the science of Sri Vidya in the sacred mandala processes by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In these processes, hundreds of people sit in the sacred mandala formation, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiates by chanting the Shodasi mantra, the 16 syllables of Sri Vidya. Listening to these 16 sounds from the incarnation of Paramashivoham himself awakens the subtle grooves within our brain, which initiates us into manifesting powers, the innate superhuman capabilities within each and every one of us. During the inner awakening conventions, literally thousands of people have experienced sitting in a mandala formation in the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and experiencing the superconscious breakthrough to ensure a sustainable and peaceful future. In the year 2013, the owner of the Indra Puja store in Chennai in India requested the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the copy of the Sri Chakra which he had carved. To his awe and surprise, he found that it was the most precise Sri Chakra which he has seen in the modern day. He then used it as a model to create Sri Chakra for distribution across his chain of puja stores in Tamil Nadu. Today, thousands of people are worshipping the Sri Chakra as carved by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. These sacred yantras are still worshipped to this day by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and will be revered for eternity as the pure expansion and space of supreme consciousness which he radiates.
And so the metal division of the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University creates metal sheet work in copper, brass, silver, and gold. And here in the pictures, you can see a few examples. of ornate kavacham, which are armors for stone and metal deities. The armors are placed on the deities during festive occasions. And the metal division of the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University also creates metal casted deities. And in approximately 1987, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism made his first metal casted deity using aluminum vessels from his home. This beautiful Lakshmi deity, as you can see in the picture, is the first metal casted deity, which has grown today as a mini industry where artisans make deities by casting metal weighing up to several tons. And to create the metal casted deities, the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University procures brass, which is used as turbine in ships. There are only 5 ship dismantling yards in the world, one being in Gujarat. This turbine made of brass has the best composition of copper and zinc and other metals. Also, this brass has gone for years of seasoning in the saline water of the sea, which makes it resistant to any corrosion. This composition is best for strength, life, and consecration of deity.
So, casting of metal deities in Panchaloha, the 5 metal combination of copper, brass, zinc, tin, and gold, involves an elaborate and authentic process of a single mold for every metal casting, employing the following processes, which is wax modeling of the deities, then covering the wax model with mud from the banks of the sacred river Koveri in South India, then melting the wax through extremely high temperatures and pouring molten metal into the mud mold to cast the deities, and then extracting the metal deity from the mold and finishing it through skilled sculpting, and then generating intricate line drawings and crafting the rare sculpting tools that are unavailable in the contemporary market. And finally, employing the Situtsi Vilay, extremely fine and nested carving on metal using extra fine tools to show ornate details on the deity forms. And last but not least, using only the coconut palm leaves for all measurements with the Vedic unit of measurement called the talam.
Thank you, Ma Vijayapriya. And so all this work that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing is to create a beautiful, highly evolved humanity, a civilization of new species, following the rich Vedic Hindu lifestyle, culture, tradition, art, and architecture. And the Nithyananda Sacred Arts University is an integral part of this revival through temple architecture and deity creation, as revealed in the Vedas and the Agamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism. Every aspect of temple and temple arts, from the size, shape, material, structure, density, the size of the halls, pillars, courtyards, the facing directions, to the process of installing the deity and the art forms used. All these are revealed in the Vedas and the Agamas. And so to revive the ancient enlightened Hindu civilization, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiates thousands of devotees worldwide into various extraordinary powers, shaktis, of the breadth dimension, which manifests from the space of oneness. And there's a beautiful Shastra Pramana, a scriptural reference that we would like to share with you. This is from Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.19. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, Shakti Sandhane Sharirotpatihi. Translation, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, uniting in oneness with the supreme power, the embodiment of that which is cognized and willed manifests at once in its length, breadth, depth, and time and space dimension. And after being initiated into the powers of the breadth dimension by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, devotees express many powers related to art and innovation, such as the power to recognize and play any instrument, the power to draw the picture from an unknown author, the power to make any clay molding asked by the partner without seeing the object, the power to dance any posture, the power to learn any art when seeing it once, and many more.
And on January 5th, 2008, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared that, quote, all creation happens in the creator when the pressure to create does not exist, unquote. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism further explains that if you relax, suddenly you will see your capacity increases. Your capacity just explodes. Understand? The visualization or creativity starts happening to you when you remove the pressure to create. Creativity expresses in the creator when he does not have the pressure to create. Understand? These are all some of the important sutras, the basic keys. Just remove the pressure to create from you. You will not become dull as you always suspect. No, you are an intelligent being by your very nature. You radiate creativity. If you have fear, if you remove the pressure to create, you will become dull. You don't have to run. You don't have to die with the pressure to create. Just remove the pressure to create. You will explode out of freedom.
Yes, and so as we end today's presentation on this World Creativity and Innovation Day, we would like to thank each and every one of you for being here. We do hope that you have gained a greater understanding and appreciation for Hinduism and how the revival of the ancient science of Hinduism, with its beautiful art and architecture based on the science of enlightenment, is not only good, but necessary in the world today. And now let's end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam.
For next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. I guarantee you, I will reach you wherever you are. Be alive, somehow be alive for next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world